them is in Campus Legends as part of a tertiary team is kind of interesting to say the least. Before we go into our game though, we do want to bring up our final chance for a giveaway. You guys missed this earlier today in Game 1 or Game 2. Game 3 now is your chance for you to win this KM300 keyboard and mouse combination courtesy of Lenovo that Nick is holding up. All you have to do is just predict the team that you think is going to win, hashtag Legion, and I feel like we have a lot of SIM fans in the chat that will probably be,
Yeah.
betting this keyboard on SIM, and you would be right to do so. I feel like they are the favorites coming in.
hmm I really appreciate what Legion has done, especially giving away a keyboard and mouse bundle every week.
Yep.
Usually people would just dump what roughly 150 to about 200 on a keyboard and mouse, but
Yeah.
here you get it for free. If
Definitely
you
a
win the
chance.
giveaway, that
Yeah,
is.
definitely a chance. And if you guys have been missing out week on week, this is your second last week because next week will be the finals itself
hmm
for Campus Legends League of the Legends. So do stay tuned, of course, to see how that one plays out. But for now, we are waiting for the teams to load into the lobby and into draft. It's going to be SIM versus Neon Polytechnic. Right now, the players are still waiting. In terms of my preference, I've watched a lot of SIM. I know some of the players themselves, and Mez himself being one of the ex-casters that I used to work with. So I do believe SIM does have the upper hand in this matchup. I'd give it like 70-30, leaning towards SIM. I'm not sure what your take on this is, Nick.
it's always intrigues me of what the players can pull out. It's
Mm-hmm.
their creativity with the amount of champions that are in league.
Mm-hmm.
If you can pull off an off-meta champion, that's what
Yep.
I want to support.
You're one of those guys that like seeing they like seeing kind of cheesy, weird off-meta compositions, right? But
hmm
I like clean, kind of routine League of Legends. And last week, even though Arcalic did pull out the Z, some people will be like, "What Z out of nowhere?" But Arcalic Z was one of the most like I guess one of his signature champions way back in the day. So it wasn't too surprising to see him pull that one out. In addition to that, that there are other champions in his pool that will probably make an appearance. Silas Akali definitely something he favors as well. But this team on a whole, not just Arcalic, but also the fact that they have this wealth of experience. They do have a solid roster around each other, and this kind of synergy that works very well. I think is what's probably going to give them an edge and help them find a spot in the grand finals. Neon Poly, however, not to be outdone, like you said, doing relatively well in their own respective group, but still, it's an uphill climb for them to really even hit this point of SIM.
hmm it's now that you're in the semifinals,
Mm-hmm.
there's two ways you can take this. I want to go big. I want to go into the grand finals, that kind of thing. Or you can be like, okay, let's lose here and let's prepare for the bronze medal
Yeah, like third
thing.
and fourth, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Losing here, of course, like you said, definitely a chance for third and fourth, but not to mention the fact that in terms of track record, in 2020 at least, SIM placing third last year
hmm
in Campus Legends, and are looking for this hopefully second or first place finish to after securing a spot in the grand finals is definitely a feat. Minimally, they should be able to get third and at least
hmm
maintain the legacy, the record that they had from last year. But ideally, they would be looking for first or second to dethrone NYP, who is already waiting for them in the grand finals, right? So
Yep.
NYP is very much on track to end up first again, and that will make it their third time in a row. 2019, 2020, and this year 2021 will make it their third, three-peat kind of victory. But if SIM can play, spoiler to that, and if they end first, it would be a very surprising upset to say the least.
hmm It's like the sort of rivalry you have between the top three teams in
Mm-hmm.
Campus Legends, right?
Yep.
It's NYP always first, then SIM being third.
Yep.
The second place
TP is
somewhere.
unfortunately not having the best kind of performance this year.
Yes,
I think if I'm
sadly.
not wrong, SIM already did beat TP out, and that was in the quarterfinals earlier today. So a bit tough, but also because of the placements in the groups and the standings, and how
hmm
the brackets panned out. SIM was able to take down TP earlier in the day and now find themselves in the second semifinals for today. So players are in lobby. I believe we should be going into game, ladies and gentlemen. SIM versus Neon Poly, and for those of you that don't know, SIM is my alma mater. I did graduate from SIM just relatively recently, so I'm kind of rooting for them as well. Hopefully, looking for them to end up in the grand finals as we are into draft here.
You know, we should switch seats, you know, because SIM is up above me.
Yeah. No, you know what? It's fine. In the second game, the swap over. No surprise, but SIM is on the blue side this time, like you so keenly mentioned, and NP is on the red side as the first ban comes out to be Sinja.
You know, since I believe he's a very aggressive, sort of like a jungler kind of
Mhm.
thing. But if you are daring enough, you can put him in the solo laners as well.
I've seen people play that. I've seen people play solo lane like a mid Sinjao, and it's kind of annoying as like your level 1, level 2 all in is really strong between
Mhm.
Audacious Charge and the 3 Talent Strike. So that could be a choice, but it's banned out. Arela banned out as well. Sorry, production. Can we get like my volume in my headset to go down a bit lower? It's super loud in my ears. Sorry, just want to mention this right now. But yeah, Irelia and Diana have been banned out as well. So right now, looking for the fourth ban. It's gonna be Lucian here for NP.
The Lucian bans, I think they're looking for maybe a mid laner kind of thing because you see the AP jungler being banned out,
Yeah.
the very the Lucian being such a harassment in the mid lane, I swear.
I think right now they are targeting the pool of SIM a little bit more. The mid lane Lucian is something that's both meta and would fit Arcalic style very well. Now with the Gwen being removed, Gwen more of a power ban than a target ban. I think it's a very strong pick. We saw it do very well in the first game for today. The fact of the matter is she is a very strong flex pick and can be played in the jungle and both the top lane. Just banning it out removes some of the service there. And
the
the
Ziggs.
Ziggs, yeah, the Ziggs being banned away too. We saw bot lane Ziggs earlier today too, but I think it's again NP saying like we just want to ban that out. And not to mention right now the first pick, Lee Sin is open. Lee Sin is going to be locked in by SIM.
But you know, Viego is still open. So I think MP could possibly pick the Viego to probably match the Lee Sin, but let's see what NP can bring out since they have two picks this choice, right? This.
Yep. The Lee Sin again also is a flex pick. You could play in top or jungle. Of course, his numbers have been nerfed a little bit. The kind of insane wave clear that solo lane Lee Sin has dipped off a little bit more. Still, with Gold Drinker, it's a very strong. Overall, you know, sustained laner in itself can do very well, provide strong engage if you understand how the champion works. The first two picks here for NP is going to be an instant balling, right? Aphelios Thresh. So this tells me that NP are going to be playing bot side. You don't pick Aphelios Thresh if you don't want to be like helping that lane snowball. Essentially, that lane needs to snowball, and once it does scale up to the strong item, you know, power spike that Aphelios does have, that's when you can come online. The response here from SIM is a Karma and Varus. Varus, again, we've seen a lot of Varus today. The reason being it's a very low economy, high utility ADC. Like, you don't need a lot of farm, but you still do a lot in terms of items. So it's like, usually you buy Tears, Serrated Dirk, go back to the lane, just start owning the guy because you have Lethality and Piercing Arrow. And then once you get a couple more items, you finish the Mana Mule, you finish the Dust Blade, that's when you really take over as like a poke machine, right?
Yeah, you start poking out the champs because your W does % health damage.
Yeah, it's
Wait,
execute.
it's an execute basically. But MP is gonna lock in the Trundle to match the Lee Sin, I believe, in the jungle.
They are predicting a Lee Sin jungle, but I am not 100% sold that SIM is going to play Lee Sin jungle. Just purely because of the draft right now. And I think the Trundle could be abused here if SIM read this properly, right? If it's a jungle Trundle, SIM could read this properly and just play something like Kindred and punish that. Again, right now you see the LeBlanc, that's an Arcalic ban. Won't be surprised if they final ban like Silas, Zed, Akali, something like that to make sure that Arcalic does not get like a good lane matchup. There's Mundo that's gonna be taken away by SIM here.
You're duller than a broken
And Tom Kench as
sandwich.
well. They both recently changed champions, you know. So sadly we won't be seeing them. We've seen how powerful Tom Kench was, but it wasn't played to the max potential.
I think Tom Kench being banned signals to me that they're worried SIM picks like tanky kind of, you know,
Never pick a
frontliner,
fight you can't
and
win.
they do want to force this Lee Sin into the solo lane and hopefully get a decent matchup in the top lane. Being on the red side, of course, they can last pick their top lane pick last. So here you pick either top or mid. I assume you want to pick mid because either way you're going to get slapped by Arcalic. So just pick the mid lane matchup first and then last pick your top lane, because against Mez, who is Greed, I'm assuming you probably stand a better chance of coming out hit in your lane.
Yeah, so I think
And you
they've
go the
locked in
mid
the
pick.
Syndra. Syndra recently got a few buffs in that mana cost of her abilities, so I guess Syndra would be a very optimal pick going into what SIM
Quake,
has.
Quake is hovering the Vayne here because this is one of his old school signature picks.
Oh.
His old IGN used to be Cam, and then he used to play a lot of Vayne. But now not so much, even though Vayne is still very strong in this patch. I don't think that's going to be the choice. Instead, it's going to be the Akali for Arcalic here in the mid lane. Again, one of his signature champions. I think Arcalic, I think two things, right? I think Assassins, and I think high mechanically skilled player. And Akali is one of those champions that do, fall in that particular overlap in the Venn diagram. So now the final pick here, I think probably not an Ivern, unless they have some cheese setup. It should be the jungle pick and then the Lee Sin solo lane, I think.
Seems like they're covering all the junglers, and they're gonna lock in the
There you go,
Graves.
Same thing as Kindred, basically. Against Trundle, you have a range advantage and you have ways to dodge away from the pillar. Trundle only really excels when he can lock you in place with the pillar. Basically, he throws up the pillar that
It just blocks
then,
you.
and then in that AoE, you are both slowed and obstructed, right? Then he just fights you in that area. But with, like someone with Graves or Kindred, your response is just to throw down smoke screen and dash away. Or for Kindred, throw down that AoE and dash away. It doesn't matter, right? So these are picks that are non-interactive against Trundle and seek to actively counter the Trundle jungle pick. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think what we should be looking at isn't the jungle, but I believe should be the mid lane because Arcalic is what you say want to be a very mechanically skilled player, and he wants to show that off with his Akali. So the mid lane is one to watch out for, bottom lane as well, because we need to see whether the Aphelios will get that snowball lead ahead.
If you are looking at this matchup right now the way I am, you would expect Trundle to start red side and then path down as early as possible to bot lane, because between Varus and Karma, neither Quake nor Kra have like any escape tools outside of Flash. You hit a good pillar into a hook into a lantern, that's pretty much the lane gone, right? That's a guaranteed flash or a guaranteed kill. So you should be starting on red side if you are Trundle, path down, and then like early gank bot as the moment you can. Like level 3, level 4 gank bot lane already. The response here for SIM should be Graves babysitting mid as much as possible. Like get Arcalic a good like laning phase so that he can start demolishing the Syndra at level 6 and then start roaming the map. Because you expect Mez on this Lee Sin to like kind of go even, right? For the most part, because he's so mobile, you should not be losing this lane. If anything, you go even or take a small L in terms of CS. So the only lane that Smurf can really punish here is Arcalic's lane or match the bot lane ganks. But even then, it's still tough because if you get jumped and your Varus and Karma are low health, you can't really come in to assist them.
Yeah, it's sort of like, in those games where your bot lane's is getting killed and you still go there just so that you tell them, I'm here, I counter ganked you. Okay, cool.
It's the idea of a sunk cost fallacy, right? If they end up behind already, there's no point going to gank that lane. It's just even harder to rescue that lane. So
Yeah.
I think if you are Smurf here, you play towards your mid jungle a bit more. If you have initiative, if you have prio, then of course you can path bot lane. The advantage of Graves over Trundle is that you are much faster and more efficient when it comes to clearing the jungle. You always exit the jungle with more health compared to Trundle, so it feels a lot better as Graves, especially if you know how to juggle your true grid stacks, your E, gets armor, right? So if you can keep those stacks really high, you actually clear the jungle with a lot of health. Your basic attack, by virtue of knocking back the Scuttle Crab, means that you already take away the shield. So it's one of those junglers that controls river, has very efficient pathing, and can play around mid jungle synergy a lot.
Right, so SIM's jungle should be looking towards the mid and the bottom lane if it so happens that bottom lane is getting ganks, but you don't want it to be low health, and MP is looking for the bot lane, sort of like, instead of you feed the Kog'Maw being the dog, you feed Aphelios here.
Yeah, Aphelios definitely is going to be a key, and the raising the puppy is not so much a theme here in a sense, because that implies that the Aphelios is the only damage source, right? And again, when I look at this composition, Aphelios is good to have in the late game. He scales very well if you can snowball him. But otherwise, you can also just play for team fighting. Between the Camille and Syndra, you have a lot of like zone control. A lot of people are starting to learn, or at least have realized, that Syndra in team fights, it's best to out first and then you scatter the weak, not the other way around.
Oh.
Because when you out, all the orbs are down, you actually get a bigger like stun area, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
true.
so this is what a lot of the pros have kind of realized nowadays, as opposed to like stacking a lot of Qs and then outing for one shot. They use the out as a way to set up utility. Same thing for the Camille, right? You use the out to set it up for a kill as opposed to like or controlling area as opposed to going for a solo kill. So I think this is what we should expect from NP. They could still default to team fighting if the Aphelios isn't super fed either. Like there are alternative win conditions for NP, whereas I think for SIM a lot of the game is going to be based around Arakalik. A lot of like their success is going to be whether the Akali can control the pace of the game.
Right, so SIM's win condition is through Arcalic, while NP has their win conditions throughout the entire, different lanes, except the support.
Well, the support is going to be like Thresh is.
Yeah.
If I had to rank supports right now, Karma and Thresh are like same but different, like two sides of the coin, right? So Thresh is very good at like roaming the map, setting up plays, and helping your jungler get a hit. He has one of the most oppressive kits when it comes to supports. Karma is an all-round lane bully, so she's really good at setting up your lane for success, especially against Varus. I don't expect to see Aphelios like once he uses the Calibrium, like no more bullets in that sniper gun. He's going to be zoned out of lane just because of the poke. So I do think that's going to be an issue.
Right, but you see, Aphelios, you need him to get those early leads. So you would assume the Thresh would be playing more aggressive.
Well, yeah, the idea is like if you can hit an early hook, you get Ignite.
Yeah.
With the Calibrium or the Graviton gun, either one or the other, you poke them out or you root them in place. It allows you to set up for that, right? The reason why Thresh Aphelios is so annoying as a lane duo is because once you swap to the gravity gun, you have the like kind of route in place that sets up for the Thresh. Same thing for the flamethrower. You can clear the waves very quickly, allowing Thresh to always have pressure. So that's why this lane duo is very strong. People always think, oh well, it's because Thresh has just a lantern and it gets him out. It's a nice bonus, but it doesn't win you your lane. It just keeps the Aphelios safe.
So
right.
Basically, it means that the Thresh and Aphelios both synergize very well together.
Yeah, people always think of it like defensively. Oh, because Aphelios is immobile, Thresh can save him. But the reverse is actually more true. It's the fact that Aphelios has multiple guns that allows for Thresh to set up even more aggressively compared to normal. Yeah, like think of any other ADC that fits well with Thresh, right? How many of them actually can like at different points in the game provide very good wave clear, have a on-demand lockdown like crowd control, and an ability to straight up duel at level 6, right? If you have those what's the Crescendum, the Chakrams, when you have Crescendum and you're ready to fight when you have your items, combined with Thresh and all the lockdown he brings, it's actually a very like scary lame proposition to deal with.
Right, because the Chakram, using your abilities, you start getting more of those little glaives around you. You start throwing them more and more and more. It does way too much damage.
Yeah, that's the frustrating thing as we are onto the Rift game 1 between SIM and NP now. Looking at the early setup here, it seems as though NP are not really trying for anything, but you need early vision. You need to spot where the Trundle is. So I think this is the smart move coming from SIM. If you think that the Trundle is red side, around 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, he's going to be bot lane.
Right, and they already spot out where the Trundle is, so it should be top. Oh, he's going to go for a recall, so maybe he might be going for the bot lane start and get that maybe level 2 gank off.
Nope, he's not full recalling. Because the right play, of course, like I said, the right play is to like start top side and then path down to help Aphelios Thresh. So for him to recall there is like kind of troll. Like there's no reason for him to go back.
Nice. Little things every day. Especially for me, I'm a fairly new League player, so I don't really understand the game to that point.
Right, yeah, so moving, actually smart moves here coming in from Smurf. He reads that bot lane is going to be weak, so he's starting blue also to mirror the jungle path down. And what we'll probably see later on is that he will fast clear his jungle, like fast clear in a sense compared to the Trundle. He'll clear it faster and then move down to control the bottom half of the map before the Trundle can come in and take the Scuttle Crab away from him. So the play now is to just clear jungle as Smurf. This Graves definitely going to exit with more health, faster speed. We'll be able to just move down and take that Scuttle Crab and control bot lane.
Yeah, I think Smurf really has I believe, the better start compared to the to Cappuccino, on the Trundle, especially when he starts the top side.
Like he did 2 camps already. He's skipping his Raptors just to match the speed, right? Whereas Smurf is already like full cleared the top half of his jungle and now he's walking down. So he's like 1 camp ahead and he's at the same speed, right?
Yep. And then it shows you how scary Smurf can be on this Graves.
Yeah, it's just the jungle matchup. The idea of like knowing the power of Graves, quote unquote power, and understanding this matchup because they already identified the Trundle jungle very early on, so they like more or less min-max the matchup for the Graves here.
I think the bottom side will be one for a gank, as you see both of them trading pretty evenly, I would say, with MP, you know, taking most of the damage.
So what's gonna happen here is he's gonna hit level 4. Smurf is basically gonna hit level 4 and then move down to control the Scuttle Crab. His team has already put the ward in the river, so they know that it's important for him to like get to the river first and then get the Scuttle Crab and deny that away from Cappuccino because level 4 is basically where they get the Scuttle Crab. Or rather, Scuttle Crab is where they get level 4. So they need to contest this right now.
It's a matter of who gets that Scuttle Crab, gets that level 4 kind of thing, right? But look at the bottom lane, the chain CC, the damage, the Calibran will pick it up in the final kill, but it was the Trash who picks it up. So first blood goes to the Varus, and 3 people of MP are looking for a fight down here. Heart goes in, the TP is used from SIM. No one's on the engage as Heart tanking most of the damage. Fudge Nugget, however, low on HP as the Akali Arcalic here doing most of the damage. The E lands, he's going in for a dive, he gets the kill. Cappuccino will be able to secure the extra trade. That's a really 2 for 2.
Yeah, well, with Greed getting a solo kill in the top lane. Good job, Mez. I'm gonna give you a round of applause for getting that solo kill. You know, people might joke that he's in a retirement home, but this guy is still styling on people, even with, you know, against the Camille with like teleport and ignite. He actually got a solo kill. He might actually find another one here because this is a huge wave. The ignite probably gonna take him down though. Safeguard? Nope. Okay. RIP Mez. Nice try. At least you got the solo kill.
So Mez is Greed, right?
Yep.
Okay. I was trying to understand that kind of thing.
Smurf now is gonna get the top Scuttle Crab. 5-4 is the kill score, but essentially what we you know, what the net result of that was Arkelly actually got a solo kill bounty, and a lot of kills went towards Quake, who already finished Radiant Dirk in tier. So it's at this point where
you can harass the bottom lane out of control.
The bot lane just does not get to play any League of Legends, right? you get to poke them out non-stop with Karma Varus. The bottom part is just warding the river and making sure that you don't get jumped. Smurf here with the great smite steals it away. He has control here.
He is now in trouble with Cappuccino and Dodok. Both in the jungle, gets the stun. Now there's nothing Smurf can do as Cappuccino picks him up.
Okay, that one was probably not the highest IQ play. Like, there's no reason for him to be that deep in the jungle, even though he stole it away. Should have communicated to Mez like, hey, I'm walking in, can you back me up? And now, Greed is in some trouble because the wave is kind of frozen in an awkward spot. It's going to eventually push into him, but he needs to kind of just hold it here. And they lose top prio too because this wave is collapsing, so Cappuccino is going to pick up at least the enemy Grom. Maybe get contested
Possibly.
here.
I mean, the Graves is coming back. The Graves doesn't have Smite, right?
Yep. Okay,
both of them don't have Smite.
He's going to be able to shove them off. He knows because the Lee Sin threatened to rotate down. Right now,
but Greed actually misses the Q, and Bust, he does a lot of damage to Dodok right there.
Arkellic stunned up.
Gets the stun. But Heart can't do much. He has his... he used it already.
He used it, didn't get the kill there. Arkellic has to be careful. He can't collect this wave either. Like, he is playing with fire right now. One more Q is going to kill him, so he's barely going to dodge away from that. Scare the weak. Smurf comes in to clean the wave up, just to share the EXP with Arkellic. Now they need to shove this wave out. Yeah, Smurf has to stick around to shove this wave, otherwise it just gets wasted.
At least there is the jungler there to pick it up, unlike solo queue matches where there's not anyone. There is Dodok looking for the fight. Goes with the Hextech Ultimatum, trying to get the stun. He lands it. He's not doing enough damage as Greed just disengage that. But the hook will land on the bottom lane. The flame will come through as Cappuccino is on the bot side. The Graviton will be able to pick up the kill as Cappuccino is looking for more. That's a 1-for-1
so far. Smurf coming in. He does have the ultimate. They could finish off Cappuccino if they use the collateral damage. Not in range. No. Unlucky. There was also the frozen domain from Cappuccino to get the movement speed out. So if he didn't have that, he probably dies to Smurf's auto plus Q plus collateral damage. But good news is they can stick around for plates.
Yeah, there's nothing the two members of SP can do.
TP it.
TP is coming in from below as Syndra gets the stun off. The chain CC will be able to lock Smurf down right there, but there's not
Ooh,
enough
the heal!
damage. The heal from Quake will save Smurf there, as that's a 1-for-0 as Arcalic is gonna fight Cappuccino walking into the tri-bush there.
Arcalic is probably now gonna stop them from backing off. He's gonna sit here because he has ultimate, and he
Oh.
has the wave collapsing, so he's looking to clean up here
But
for a
the
double.
root, he's going for it. He gets the good Q damage, but the execute won't land as they pick up two people under the tower.
Yep, completely expected. Like, you give Arcalic this amount of space, and when he has his ultimate, he's gonna make that play. Like 9 out of 10 times, he will stick around just to punish you, and you cannot give this player any inch, any centimeter, because he's gonna take so much more. And now with this goal lead, slightly less than 3K for SIM, they have control. Arcalic's 2-1 and 2. He's moving in towards. I think that should be Proto Belt. I want to say.
Should be
Yeah.
a Proto Belt.
Unless he does Night Harvester, which is kind of like... I think Proto Belt is probably the better play here. The big kind of beneficiary of this early game is Quake, though. Right now, if he bases, he should be able to pick up, either you go instant Dustblade, and that's a lot of lethality, right? The tier is just a stacking item. It's so that when he reaches the late game, he has mana. But the Dustblade is the one that's going to help him like control the lane.
Yeah, I think that what Paris can do right now is way too much, especially before 10 minutes. No one should be able to get a mythic before 10 minutes,
His team-
unless you're him.
His team played to him very well, so Smurf started, again it all starts because the Graves knew that he has to start topside, path down, and Arcalic also understood that he had to play towards bot lane a lot more. The kind of success point we saw earlier was when Cappuccino came down for the kill onto Kra. They were able to collect the karma very easily, right? And this is what we talked about, like, if you hit the pillar into a hook, it's a guaranteed kill.
Yep.
But then you forget the SIM actually, sends like 3 or 4 people down the bot lane, and
Yep.
you don't get to play, so...
You just don't get to play League of Legends down here against SIM, especially when you're the bot lane of NP right here. It's not a fun day for you guys.
Dodok he has Ignite, he has level 8. He's waiting for Cappuccino to clear this camp so they can come and gank him, because Hookshot plus Hextech Ultimatum should be able to get the kill here, I think. He still has
He
Dragon's
goes
Rage
in,
though.
misses the stun, but he has the Hex Step Ultimatum. It lands, and Cappuccino should be able to pick this one up for free. I believe that was the smite damage.
Yep. Smite damage,
Some burn.
challenging smite plus the auto just taking him down. And I think Mez maybe overestimated how tanky he is. He thought that the Dragon's Rage alone would get him out, but the follow-up damage from the Trundle is just too much. And also the ultimate from the Trundle allows him to pick up that kill.
Now they get to pick up the Rift Herald for free, but on the top lane, Dodok is in a bit of a fight against Smurf right there.
He might actually die here.
Yep, the TP will be used. There's no one there as Cappuccino is too focused on the Rift Herald. Arcalic knows this, and he is rotating down. They want to get this Rift Herald and Cappuccino maybe.
Cappuccino has smite,
Oh,
and
the
counter
TP again.
This is actually a smart play. If they can pick this one up, it's actually worth it. They just need to smite this one away.
Yup, but they want more. Look at Arcalic's play style and his amount of mechanical ability to just pick up 2 kills in the enemy jungle.
Jesus.
Oh my god. Arcalic is way too skilled. Dodok trying to pick up a exit frag right there, but it's not enough as Arcalic just goes back for the kill.
4-1 and 5 now.
Oh
He's gonna
my
base
God.
and pick up a full mythic. And the best part is, like, well, not best part if you're an MP fan, but
Yeah,
like,
sadly.
the value part was SIM didn't even have to leash that one up because they recognized that Cappuccino was on the Rift Herald. So they're like, okay, we have double TPs, and this Herald is super low. Let's just send everyone there, and Arcalic's super fed anyway. We'll just pick up that Rift Herald and then get the kills on the way out. Right now, goal lead is in favor of SIM in terms of like 5.5, 5. So the bot lane is still controlling like this lane very well. They haven't found kills, but what they have found is a CS advantage as well as a lot of plates. Like this turret alone, the
It's
health-
gone.
Yeah, no Herald, nothing. It was just them shoving up and hitting it constantly, like chip damage over like 20 waves, right? And they're able to pick it up.
Yeah, some trades on the top side going in the favor of Dodok there.
Arcalic has Proto Belt, he has Darksteel. You know, if this is like the Arcalic of old, we see an instant Mage Eyes here, right? Come on, Dom, give me the Mage Eyes. Give me that. Like, I want to see the 20 stack Mage Eyes, Dom.
The Book of BM,
Yeah.
I believe you called it that.
I mean, it does fit his playstyle. 4-1 and 5, that's going to be a value buy, right?
He's doing so well. He might as well just make it much better, you know.
Dodog's gonna pick up at least some respite here, gets a couple of plates. There's like a minute and a half left before those go off, so you need to get some value back on the map somehow, right? It's not coming from mid lane, it's not coming from bot lane, so the Camille has to find some value in the form of the turret plates. Might see a rotation coming up from Cappuccino. He does have the
Oh,
ultimate.
Dodok actually lands the stun, but it forces the hand of Greed to Dragon Rage kick him away.
They got bot tier 1. If Greed doesn't die, it's a win. If he dies, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Alright, Calyx rotating up too.
Cappuccino a bit too deep, uses the Blascon to get out of there. I guess that's a safe move, but the bottom lane of SIM is just dominating it. There's nothing the members of NP can do. But Dodok is on the run from what seems to be a gang from Arcalic, and Smurf's damage. Look at that quick burst. The collateral picks him up. Picks Heart up, and maybe even the first tower. I mean the mid
Tier
tower.
1. They got bot tier 1 now. This is the rotation, the natural progression. After you pick up bot side, you can move mid.
They have
And
gotten-
Smurf there with the Gale Force is able to get solo kill. Now they're jumping in on the top side, but I
Arcalic, they're
don't
finding
think
Kim and they pick him
Ooh.
up as Cappuccino gets a big shutdown. Mid tier 1 is gone, and they're looking for Greed. Dodok should be able to pick this up with the help of Cappuccino, as you know, Cappuccino being the jungler gets the kill.
He's 6-3-1 now. The big problem is all of your like bounty shutdown gold is in the hands of the Trundle. And if he's not in the fight, you don't have a lot of combat potential as we see the pause come in. But if he's not in the fight, if Cappuccino doesn't join, you lose a lot of combat power. So the problem here is like he needs to be at every fight. He needs to be contesting every single thing. And he's one jungler versus like 3 laners. It's tough for him to really spread that value, I think. Overall, for SIM, they are very much on track of what in terms of what they need to do. Lee Sin took a couple of small L's here and there, but he's still doing well in lane. Arcalic controlling the pace. He's got his Pro Belt. He's going to be moving into like his next core item soon. And for Quake, he's on Varus. Even though it's a low economy pick, he's already gotten a lot of gold for his team. So like the execution damage from Piercing Arrow is there. So we're expecting him to just pop people with the Q.
Just one RWQ, full combo, the guy's gone.
There are multiple ways for them to pick people off too. Like we haven't even seen them in a 5-on-5. And if you ask me, like, is this too much for NP? Like, is it game over? I don't think so yet. They still, like I say, have the opportunity to fight 5-on-5s, but they need to navigate that very carefully. Like, the way they take these 5-on-5s have to be very specific. Like, you know, use a choke, use the Trundle Pillar in those narrow pathways, use Hextech Automatum to lock down Arcalic, use these Unleash Power to scatter the weak to stun multiple members. Like, it has to be very specific. You can't just walk in and hope like, oh yeah, SM is just going to give us the team fight. NP is going to get slapped. So they need to be very careful and very mindful about how they engage these 5-on-5.
Yep, true. There's no one in this competition that will give you just a random 5v5 to win. It's
Much
all
less SIM.
It's all of skill. You know, SIM has Arcalic there, has the members, but MP has the tools to lock Arcalic down, and that is if MP knows what they're doing.
Yeah, Hextech Automatum must be on the Akali. Must be on him. Like, even if it's quote-unquote wasted ultimate, it keeps him from diving to your backline, right? The value of Hextech Automatum is you lock someone down. Yes, you're kind of stuck inside with him, but he cannot exit the area. And because of that, your mid lane and your ADC is free to just free hit, right?
Yep.
They're free to walk around and actually do damage in the fight. So when Arcalic is left unchecked, they will die. But if you lock him down with Hextech Automatum, maybe you get a chance in the team fight.
Yeah, you know, just sacrifice yourself, be selfless, go in, lock the Akali down, and let your team just do the damage. Just trust your team in this one.
Yeah, hopefully as we jump back into game. Yeah, there we go. That was a short technical pause, and like we said, lockdown Arcalic, maybe you find a better window in this game, but Smurf is also starting to come online, 3-1-7 on his Graves. He's already picked up the Gale Force, so we'll smite away that blue buff. I think the next item here, there are a lot of things you can go actually. There's a lot of value kind of items you could buy. Depends on what his team needs, I suppose, as Inferno Dragon is going to be picked up by SIM here.
There's nothing that NB could do to contest that. I mean, it's just now a 5k gold. It wasn't as bad as the previous games.
Yeah, but this is SIM's like shtick though. Like the thing that they're very good at, like their kind of #1 trick, is they will have this very small goal lead at like the mid game, and then once they take one big fight, you see this like 5k become like 8k, become like 12k, because they are very good at taking these fights. So, like I said, MP needs to be very careful about how they engage these fights.
I think the sorry, I had a sore throat. What I believe needs to happen, right, is that NP Syndra needs to actually get some gold in and actually get the first mythic up, because she's currently the
0.1.
yeah.
I mean, it's
He's against Arcalic.
happens. It happens. It's okay. It's okay, Heart. I believe in you. You just need the Ludens, buddy. Just need the Ludens to come online. Right now, SIM, they're waiting for a window to really punish NP. I think top lane might be the best play here. Just move towards the top side and move onto the Camille and collapse that last outer tier 1.
Yeah, it's the last tier 1 that SIM needs to complete, as they're trying to lock down Arcalic again. They won't be able to land the pillar, won't be able to lock him down, as
Collapse
the
on-
members
Collapse on the Camille, that's the play. You have Chains of Corruption and like enough damage to just like one-shot her.
Yep, will be able to find the root, will be able to lock him down. There's nothing you can do. You go for the extra ultimatum, but you can't do anything. Bottom lane, however, Arcalic is in the fight with 3 members of SIF. That is not something you want. The pillar will be able to lock him down. The flare will come through. Hook hasn't been used, I believe, used before. Zeros is going in for the fight. He does pick up the kill. Won't be able to use the lantern to get out, as now he's gonna face Greed in a one-on-one. He won't be able to get out. Oh, the dragon kick! The dragon kick over the wall. Greed! What are you doing?
Good job, man.
What team are you playing for?
You know what? That's a classic man's move. I'll give it to him. He was. I knew that was gonna go wrong when he safeguarded way too close to the guy. I'm like, okay, I know how this is gonna turn out already, because when you safeguard that close to Aphelios, he's able to actually just trade against you with the Crescendum and the Severum, right? So that's kind of the first indicator of things going badly. But SIM, they take down the top tier 1, they take down the top tier 2. They already got the earlier kill on Camille, so now they still have control of this mid game, right? And what did I say their specialty was? Like mid game, you see the 5k become like 8k goldie. Now it's a 7k, right? Eventually, it's gonna balloon because they're able to find these massive multi-map kills across different lanes.
Right, you don't need SIM's financial group, because you have them right here. This is their investing kind of thing. You see them, they invest 5k, suddenly becomes 7, boom, it goes up and up and up.
There's a joke here about like Mez and financial investment. I don't know, man. You guys go and fix that one. It's like the IKEA of jokes. 2, 3, and 1 on this Lee Sin. It's all in good jest. All in good jest, of course. I do know him personally. So it's just all bans. Meanwhile, Quake having an absolutely fantastic game already, moving towards the Siroda's Grudge. Last Whisper completed. Now, a couple more items before that third core is picked
Oh,
up.
Heart
as-
is now again dived under the tower. This is not a good day for the mid laner of NP.
He's been punished quite a lot. 0, 6, and 2 only currently picking up his Luden's Echo. They will drop this Herald to secure bot tier 2, and they could push for more if they wanted to. The inhibitor is actually a choice here if they push the wave in together. They just need the poke first. They need to poke off Skuro support, and yeah, they could go for the inhibitor here.
Oh,
Good
but
hook
the
in.
hook lands. He's going in. Fudge Nugget won't. The box won't be able to land. It goes golden to save his life, but the hook, another hook will land as Cappuccino does the damage. But the good insight by Greed right there. Picks up 1 for 1, and Smurf tanks the tower. Oh, a good snipe by Varus right there. Oh, that
It's
was
okay,
beautiful.
Mez.
But the members of NP are on the flank. Dodok doing his best. Gets the stun off, but he gets immediately chunked, and the perfect execution from Arcalic picks him up. He's looking for Heart right here.
It's
Just-
gonna be
it's
an
a-
ace.
It's not a
SIM,
broken
they
heart.
clean up that fight, and that flank was... I see the logic behind it. You want a final, like, good fight. SIM have overextended, but NP, they weren't really able to single out the members that mattered, right? They needed to kill Quake first and then Arcalic, but Quake got out scot-free after that hook connected, and Arcalic's able to use the perfect execution to just relocate himself around these fights. And that's the problem, right? When you don't have the Hextech Ultimatum to lock him down, when you give him freedom of mobility, he is just going to dance around you and end the fight 7-3 and 3 right now. He's going to back off by Morelos, I think. Meanwhile, Quake is going to finish off his Serodas, and it looks like the Collector was the second item for Smurf. Okay. All in all, everyone's just like racking up big items.
Yep. You know, like you say, the gold lead is just slow. It's all snowballing for SIM. They maybe want to look for the Baron right here. I think that's the best option for them.
The composition of SIM though doesn't really do Baron that quickly because it's Varus who is
Poke.
like the main ADC, right? A lot of his damage is in Piercing Arrow. And yes, you still have Graves. Yes, he does do consistent DPS, but in order for you to really take that, you need all 5 members there. And that's kind of obvious. Like, it's very predictable. And being in that pit against Aphelios and Syndra is a bit of a problem. I would be worried for SIM if they just sit like all clumped up 5 members inside the pit.
Mr. 200 years and his flamethrower of death. Yuck, they're gonna lock down Greed right there as he gets out of there scot-free. That's a Hextile Ultimatum wasted. I think that calls for the Baron to be taken. As there's nothing that MP knows. They ping the Baron, however.
They know that they can do this because the bot wave on the minimap you can see is being shoved in.
Oh,
Now
wow,
it's
that's a
a
huge wave.
50-50 coming in. SIM should be able to secure this actually. Yep.
They pick it up. There's no way that NP could have stolen that. Maybe, you know, maybe if Cappuccino actually had flashed up, he could have flashed over the wall, steal it, and then give his team the gold and the buff that they need. But the hook over the wall won't be able to land.
The logic was, if you notice your minimap, the bot lane was shoved in all the way. So Hart, without the TP because he tried to flank, will have to deal with that. Best case scenario for SIM is a 4v5 plus Baron, so they just take that and know that they can push with this Baron buff. Now they can siege even better because a lot of the wave clear from MP is somewhat magical, right? And with this Baron up wave, it's impossible for them to really do anything against the cannon minion. Like, look at how hard it is for them to clear the wave.
Especially with Arcalic right there. They know they can fight. Arcalic knows he can fight anyone, anywhere. So he's just gonna ward Dodok off the wave. It is the amount of minions that are leaking in from the bottom, and now maybe even the mid because they got the tower, is gonna be insane for the members of SP. This could be the fastest game of the playoffs. Just look at the amount of damage that Hart actually takes from that one arrow.
Don't do it, man. Oh no, the kick!
Insect. Oh, they get it, Squirrel. They're all gonna look for the end right here. Everyone's dying, falling like flies right there. Arcalic looking for the 2 kills right there as double kill picks up from the Varus, and everyone's just gone as Arcalic dives the back.
They were unable to lock down the Akali, and when you get freedom of mobility, he's going to just shred your backline. A bit of a TP
DM
coming
teleport?
in. Actually, there was a practical teleport because it stops the particular minion from dying to the, to the turret. But that is going to be game 1 going to SIM. Good job coming in from what I again called the favorite of this particular matchup.
I believe that the same school that you graduated from, SIM.
Good job, guys.
It's really amazing to see them complete the game in 22 minutes. This is I believe this is the fastest game in the playoffs.
There were a couple of games off screen as well, like during the quarterfinals, that might have been quicker. I'm not particularly sure, but yeah, very dominant performance coming from SIM, and I think overall, like, they hit pretty much every mark that I wanted to see with like this team of ex-pros in terms of controlling the win condition and knowing how they could lose the game. If you think back during the draft, I was like, well, if you snowball the Aphelios lane, that becomes a problem. The response is they just start 4-manning bot lane with Arcalic and whoever had TP, right? And that becomes such a issue for Neon Poly to really deal with. So SIM is a team of experienced players that understand how to manipulate win conditions, and they do it very well. So that's game 1 going to them.
Yep. With game 1 going to SIM, do stay tuned for the next game. This determines whether SIM dominates again with a 2-0 lead and then go on to the grand finals against NYP, or will NP stop SIM in their tracks?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is game point right now, SIM. You know, they're the ones in the lead, and Neon Poly struggling to find their footing. I'm Hungry Cast, alongside me is Gobstay. We'll be taking you through what could potentially be the last match of this best of 3 SIM, looking to lock a spot in the grand finals against Nanyang Polytechnic.
Yeah, it really feels it's SIM favorite right now. But these clothes from Uniqlo, these ones you can get. I believe these are the sports utility wear.
So at the bottom of your screen, you should see a QR code. I'm going to try and point to it
Should
right
be roughly
now.
right here.
Yep, right there. And if you see that on the bottom of your screen, do go ahead and scan it to download the Uniqlo app today or right now. Stand a chance to win an Aerism mask and get $5 off your free purchase, or your first purchase rather, excuse me, with the Uniqlo app. And of course, you know, if you want to stand a chance to win a $100 gift card from Uniqlo, or courtesy of Uniqlo, sign up for a membership, screenshot that, and send it to the Skoga Facebook or Instagram page, and we will pick one person to receive that. I think I was joking with Lemming Messiah about how $100 at Uniqlo is pretty much like my budget for like daily wear. You know, I can get like a ton of plain t-shirts, a ton of plain shorts, and a couple of socks, and like I'm good to go for like the year.
Yeah, you just need to refresh your look every year.
Pretty much. I only wear the same thing every year, and you know, Uniqlo is great for that. We are into draft, ladies and gentlemen. I believe one of the players did start this very quickly, so we're like midway through already. They're too excited. They can't wait for us. They just want to play some League of Legends, and we understand. We completely get that, you guys. Bans on the side of MP for MP on the blue side rather. The bans coming out: Ziggs, Viego, and Thresh. Meanwhile, for SIM, they will ban out the Gwen, Aurelia, and Xin Zhao. Diana first pick, followed by a Leona and Lee Sin response here on the SIM side.
I think NP probably wants to pick a support and an ADC combos to match what SIM has already picked. Because you see Lee Sin, Diana, both probably the junglers of today's matchup.
It's Lee Sin top. It's definitely Lee Sin top. And I think Ezreal here is a good sign because you're worried about being locked down by Leona. The thing I'm worried about here is for SIM, they can still pick the Kalista Leona. I think that's probably going to be the best answer to Ezreal plus X. Like, apart from Ezreal, maybe Alistar, Ezreal, Nautilus maybe? There's no real, like, even Nautilus is not. Ezreal Morgana maybe might be a decent matchup against this, but Kalista Leona is just, Ezreal Braum is not too bad too. Just a way to kind of peel the Leona, right? But still, this opens up the Kalista option for SIM, and that's going to be really scary if they do lock that in.
Yep, I want to see what Arcalic will play in this match, you know, because he's such the star of the show for SIM. Maybe a bit for the top laner as well. But Arcalic is the one you need to be watching as SIM. I want to see what he picks for the mid lane.
Jinx is not bad. Varus is a bit of a question mark to me because you already have a lot of control and a lot of lockdown with the Leona. It makes no sense to go for Varus as well because you need a lot more damage. You don't need additional lockdown, right? So Jinx, Leona makes sense. Level 2, level 3, you have very nice kill potential on Ezreal Braum if they're not careful. How it usually works is like Zenith Blade into Shield of Daybreak into Flame Chompers. Just keep them locked in place for like solid 5 seconds, and then Jinx gets enough time to
just shoot
kill,
bullets.
yeah, shoot bullets, kill 1%, and then reset. That is the big threat coming in, I think, for NP.
Mundo will be banned out from the side of SIM. I want to see what NP bans to match this Mundo ban kind of thing.
If I was NP, I ban LeBlanc, Akali here, and just try to get the best like open mid matchup. When I say open mid, I mean like first pick matchup into Arcalic as best as I can. So like you don't want to play into Assassins, which is why LeBlanc Akali might be a problem. You might be wary of his Zed, so maybe you go.
You don't have the heart for this.
Okay, still going for the Lucian.
Okay.
Man. Still worried about the Lucian pick, right? Quake again hovering his Vayne, but it's probably not going to be Vayne. It's probably going to be a jungle. I imagine a jungle pick here because they are, like, if I'm SIM, I'm thinking jungle Diana. What can I play into jungle Diana that has a decent matchup? Of course, they could also be considering the Diana as mid and then pick the mid lane here for Arcalic. So assuming they think it's Diana mid, Sylas into Diana is pretty okay. One of the better ultimates to steal if you're going toe-to-toe.
I think Sylas has some pretty good ultimates still. You know, Diana's out, Braum's outie. And then the last two you have to decide. It's going to be random ultimates, but it's probably going to be a good one because decent champions.
So they flex the Diana into the jungle, and they decide to play Ryze mid into Sylas, which is a really good matchup for Kassadin works too. Both of them have like very bad ultimates for Sylas to steal. Because if you steal Kassadin's ult, you only get one jump, if I'm not wrong. You steal Rise Realm Warp. It's like, what is even the point of stealing Realm Warp in
I
the
mean,
fight?
you get
Yeah.
the roam potential, but that's
Yeah,
all.
correct. But you don't get the passive of the Rise out, right? Rises,
Oh.
the value of Realm Warp is not the relocation. In lane, it's getting the passive, which makes your Flux do more damage. So
Ah.
yeah, for Rise, that's why his ultimate is important. Like the relocation is whatever. It's like utility, right? The laning value is the passive itself.
I see.
The Jace also is a really bad ultimate to steal again. So like they kind of answered the Sylas pick with two champions that have really like mediocre ultimates. That their kits are built like around other things, right?
Mhm.
And then the answer here is like, okay, well, if you're gonna give me really crappy ultimates to steal, I'm just gonna play like, you know, it was potentially a Z mid, but in this case it's gonna be a set in the top lane for Greed and then a jungle Lee Sin coming in.
We're gonna see Arcalic on the Sylas.
Could be jungle Sylas? No, no.
Sylas top set mid with. This is gonna be an interesting.
Okay, I could see this. Well, the reason why I could see this is because Greed, also known as Mez, used to be a mid laner. In fact, his claim to fame was like, was it Season 3, Season 4, #1 challenger mid laner, and his one trick was Orianna, I think, at the start. So he is still by nature like he started out his career as a mid laner. For him to play Sylas is not something out of the ordinary. I think it's just like the lane is longer now, but it gives Arcalic a better matchup against Kassadin.
Yeah, it all matters on what Arcalic can do because Arcalic helps your team open up the match. It's always the mid laner that will always help the
Well,
other lanes
yeah.
when you start getting that lead.
I could see Mez playing Sylas. I don't know if he like is gonna dominate the lane of Sylas. Is the question, because even on Lee Sin, he took a couple of L's right, in the early
sadly.
game. On Sylas, you can't afford to really do that. Once you fall behind, it feels kind of awful because your job is to like be a duelist. You want to duel people, and if you fall behind, especially against D-Doc, you're not really gonna have a good time because it's range versus melee first, and then at level 6 you steal his ultimate, quote unquote ultimate.
Yeah, what do you do with
Yeah,
that?
and you don't do anything, right? But he's still gonna slam you with his skill set.
Okay, maybe I can guess your ultimate. You know when you switch that thing, but you just get an extra.
You get an
Damn.
extra set of skills that aren't really
technically,
ideal. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the best. It's not the best. It's like if this was toppling cannon or something, you're like, oh yeah, let's steal that ultimate, right? Let's fight the cannon. Yeah, but
And
in this case, no, not so much. Yeah. There are what I'm saying is there are a lot better ultimates that you could steal, and Jace is kind of meh as far as choices for hijack goes. Talking about the compositions, aside from Sylas, the reason why they once set mid also is the fact that against Kassadin, you have very strong early lane pressure. Like you don't care if he decides to poke you out because he doesn't have any sort of mobility pre-6. So if you are able to connect with like Facebreaker into Haymaker, you can kill Kassadin, right? And you have a lot of setup for your Lee Sin. Whereas Diana, Kassadin, like what CC do they have? Nothing much, right?
Pretty much Diana's ultimate. That's all.
And a slow from Kassadin, like pre-6. That's about it. So this 2v2 favors Lee Sin set a lot. And again, we're starting to see how SIM plays. They play mid jungle very heavily, and then occasionally decide to 4-man bot lane. Jinx Leona with Set and Lee Sin, it's a perfect like 4-man bot lane.
It's a very good dive competition as well, I believe. You know, you just bring the person out of the tower can't do anything, the support's there thinking, yes, what am I gonna do now?
Even at the end of it, like even if you do tank up the turret shots, you still have Haymaker for that massive shield to like make your escape, right? So
Yep.
I could see them playing this very aggressively to like dive bot a lot more because they have early lane control with mid lane set, and they have a lot of jungle mid synergy, so Lee Sin is gonna have full control of his pathing, like whatever he wants to do, right? Whichever camp he decides to move towards and start with and end with, Arcalic is going to be there to support him.
Yep. I'm gonna enjoy seeing what SIM can do with this mid jungle synergy. You know, maybe in the future if there's stats for like how long have the mid laner has stayed with the jungle.
Probably
kind of thing.
pretty high. I would imagine probably pretty high. For MP, their win condition is very simple. They just need to like cross their fingers and hope Kassadin gets to level 16. Like the moment Kassadin gets to level 16, you're like, hallelujah, we won this game, because there's nothing much in SIM's toolbox that can really deal with the level 16 Kassadin jumping on your backline, short of like a perfect set of chain CC from the Leona and then like bursting the rest of his team, right? Because at level 16, he's gonna build like 3-4 stacks of the Rift Walk and then immediately explode the Jinx. Like you jump on top of her, QWE, she immediately dies, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's much they can do to deal with level 16 Kassadin. For him to get to that point though, it's going to be a really hard kind of situation.
They need to stall out the game long enough,
Mhm.
but I don't think SIM wants to do that. We've seen them deny a game longer than 23 minutes.
Yeah. Their upper limit usually is like 30 minutes. 30 minutes, they're about done already, and they're like,
Mhm.
okay, let's go next, right? So,
Yeah.
if the Kassadin, like I said, there are ways for Neon Poly to win, largely being like the Kassadin. If you hit 16 and you're able to get Riftwalk level 3, that's when you can actually like punish the squishies, right? Silas
Mhm.
doesn't do very well against Kassadin at 16. Neither does the Jinx and Set. Like yes, he could turn around and Haymaker you, but the extended fight is always better for Kassadin.
Mm-hmm. It's all up to whether, if we're talking about Haymaker into a Kassadin, right? It always matters when how much true damage can you output as.
He's just gonna jump away anyway. Like
yeah,
the wind up is so long that at level 16, I think his cooldown for Riftwalk is enough for him to jump away. Yeah, and he could probably he could probably just jump behind you too. So that's a big problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the win condition for MP. Cross your fingers, don't lose the early game, wait for Kassadin to get level 16.
Yeah, we now just have to pray that Kassadin reaches that level 16 mark for MP, because that's their only win condition if SIM gets too out of hand.
For SIM side, sieging is not really ideal. You have what? Set Silas, double melee, solo lanes, and yes, you have a Jinx, but if she doesn't get fed, she can't walk up to hit
Mhm.
anything. So I could see the siege being a bit problematic for SIM. Like if Jinx gets a hit, she gets like rapid fire cannon, and the set is big. Yes, they can walk up and siege, but ultimately SIM's composition relies on killing people to siege. It's not like they just sit in front and throw skill shots and then siege, right? It's not like a Ezreal Zoe
Oh.
composition where they just sit in front of your turret and chunk you and then they siege.
Yeah, it seems we're going for a top lane, sort of like a cheese strat, from what we're seeing from NP.
It's not a cheese strat. It's just like aggressive grouping up early on. Like a cheese would be something that is unexpected. This is them just trying to walk into the enemy jungle.
Oh my god, SIM is walking into a trap that they don't know. This could be a fatal flaw. Yeah. Oh, NP. This is gonna be a scary game for them.
The good news is that they get a lot of information here, and for MP rather, the good news for MP is they get a lot of information. Their one-shot blast scouts out the back of their wall. They know that red buff is not being started right now, so they can basically put a big X on the top quadrant of the jungle and say SIM is not starting here. So you're basically down to 50-50. It's either Smurf is starting on your red buff or he's starting on his blue buff. So they're able to kind of play the guessing game here and know where he's going to end up pathing, which is top side now.
Mm-hmm. I guess, he wants to help out his mid
Okay.
laner if
Yep.
he ever gets into issue, but the top lane is where I believe they want to enable this Silas to do things.
And because they just checked their red buff and they checked their blue buff, NP knows that Smurf started on his blue buff. So they know exactly where he is and exactly where he should be pathing, which is going to allow them to play a bit more aggressive, quote unquote aggressive, depending on the timings in the game.
Arkale trading pretty well with Heart in the mid lane. Doing a bit of damage, but it's a matter of who ganks who first. Oh, that's the Sentinel skin, isn't it?
Yep. Nice Diana Sentinel skin. Thank you, Cappuccino, for keeping the game free to play. I enjoy it when you guys buy skins, because I'm a very I don't buy skins, right? So like when you guys do it, I feel like I'm not obliged to, so therefore I don't have to pay to keep the servers up. All jokes aside, you can see the clear speed from the Diana is actually pretty good.
Oh, the
damage
the
from mid lane. Yo.
Phase breaker into Haymaker. Okay, I guess that's what you mean in the
Yep.
the pick phase. You could have the early kill potential, but bottom lane, however, gets the stun off. Not enough damage to pick up the first kill.
It's because Ezreal was able to hit level 2 off the back of that. So they had a small window, like 6 seconds to all in, and they're able to like chunk him out. But once Ezreal and Braum hit the level 2 off that wave, there's nothing much you can really do. Arakelix is actually setting this up very nicely. If you count the number of minions in mid, it's actually pushing towards Arakelix. So he knows he has kill potential here. It's going to force Heart to either base and get a suboptimal buy with teleport, or potentially die. This is why Arakelix isn't hitting the wave. He's waiting for it to push out.
That's a pretty smart play by Arkale right here. I like what he's doing, and I like how he's playing mentally with the opponent.
The response here is Cappuccino needs to clear this Scuttle Crab ASAP and then walk mid. But Smurf is cutting off his entry into mid lane. So Arcalic is now zoning the Kassadin away while Smurf gets jumped on. And in the end, they said
they're
this is
going
really good
for
to
the
me too.
Kassadin right there. Oh, but it's a two-man face breaker. Haymaker finds the kill with the flash. Oh, what are you doing, Arcalic? You are in a big trouble with two people on your tail. There's nothing Smurf can do. As the TP from the top lane goes down into the mid, nothing much can happen right there.
Kra also roamed up, so if they're able to smite and secure this, it might be a decent win. Kra is going to get jumped on right now. In fact, D-Doc is here. Oh no.
No, there's 4 members chasing down the support. Why? Okay, I guess that works.
Yeah.
Support gets out of there alive. I guess you are chasing the support for the early Q money that you could possibly get.
Okay, NP this wave now pushing towards SIM. The smart play earlier from Arcalic was to freeze the wave, and then Smurf comes in, they punish hard, and now this wave is perpetually frozen. So Arcalic can keep this wave here for the next like 1 minute if he wants to. He is thinning it out so that it doesn't push into him, but what we should expect to see in the next like 1 minute, 1.5 minute is Arcalic with like a 15-20 CS lead because of his wave control here. And Smurf is free to just kind of back him up, essentially.
I think they spot out Smurf, but Hart maybe a bit too kind of overextend that kind of thing.
He doesn't need to go for anything. He just needs to freeze the wave here. Like, freeze the wave here, maintain a CS lead, get like level 5, level 6, and then go for the all-in.
I think the all-in is what needs Arcalic to do, as he actually has 2 Doran's Blade and a longsword and a boots.
Meanwhile, can see that the rest of SIM are also trying to hold even on their own. In the jungle, Smurf is down a bit of CS. He's actually caught up. Mez, or Greed rather, is not having a good time in the top lane because he TP'd down, whereas D-Doc he actually walked to the fight, right? So he's behind like 3 waves or 4 waves because of the TP earlier. And meanwhile, the AD carries are keeping even, so that's a good side up. Missing the CS, unlucky.
Sadly, he missed that CS. I think the items that the Sylas has bought really shows that he really wants to snowball his lead, with the Dark Seal.
It's a normal start. It's a normal start for top laners to buy early Dark Seal. So Arcalic's gonna get jumped on.
And just a little bit of follow-up from the mid laner, but Smurfs know that the member of the of Cappuccino is in his jungle or something.
Oh, nice!
That's a nice RKO into the jungle right there. The Haymaker picks him up with the true damage.
They read that very well. They knew that Diana was in the top bush. So what they did was like, he's top bush, so the next like strategic place for him to go is our Raptors. We path down, we kill him on the way out because he has no flash. The only way he can, kind of exit the jungle is by using the ultimate. So Arcalic reads it, uses the RKO to launch him back in, and they find that kill there. Like I said, in about this time period, Arcalic's up like 15, 20 CS, and he's going to be able to hold this advantage with wave control. Very smart.
I think the investments are slowly starting to tick in for SIM right here.
Yeah, one thing to note too is that Hart is actually doing relatively well despite being down in CS. He is down 1 death as well, but he's not getting smashed in lane, right? So he's getting to the level 16 that we kind of hope for without too much issue. He's like 1/3 of the way there, and it might be weird to say, but as long as he can get to that point, NP will have a chance in this game.
I believe that's what we need to see happen, MP and SIM. Actually, I believe SIM, Greed is in the losing matchup against this. Sadly, this Jace. It's always the same thing, range top laner versus melee kind of thing.
Yeah. And also because, again, like I said, there's no good ultimates for him. Like, it's not an ultimate worth stealing, so he doesn't get an immediate power spike. Like, Sylas's kit is very much dependent on what ultimates he can really, like, use and abuse. As we see Smurf here being able to pick up this dragon. So that, again, signals that, hey, the jungler's bot side allows D-Doc to just walk up and punish Greed in this lane.
Oh, but hold on a second. Greed wants a fight with D-Doc. D-Doc?
Yeah.
Okay.
Knowing that the Lee Sin's bot side, he just can play super aggressive. It forces the base, and right here, Greed does not have TP, so he's going to miss this wave as well. And D-Doc's going to be able to pick up that turret plating as well. Mystic Shot should find him here. Or the ward, either one.
I guess they know they don't want to fight anything here. But I think that was quite a so-called, I would say, bad recall from the Lee Sin.
His recall timing lets the Diana know and lets Cappuccino know that, hey, you can come in and take this rip off, right? And he's gonna smite that one away, and now this
Arcalic finds a
ultimate
free
stolen.
kill.
Actually, he uses the Blast Cone to get out mid lane. Arcalic finding a solo bolo again here against the Kassadin.
I think this is what you meant by, Phase Breaker into the Haymaker allows him for the kill potential.
Yep.
And then now he's already fed. He can start doing way more damage than he normally needs to do.
He also has the Ignite. Normally you see mid lane set, which is a weird sentence to say, normally you see mid lane set take TP. He took Ignite because he knows he has the kill potential here. So he's trying to flex on Heart and extend the early game lead. And remember I said that Heart, okay, he's scaling to level 16 very well. He's getting set back now. It's going to be even tougher for him to get to that point. Every time he dies, every time he doesn't collect CS, he's being denied that level 16 win condition.
He needs that XP early on in the game such that he can stay even, but right now it doesn't seem things are working his way. Certainly a level down and 10 CS behind. And 3 kills behind as well.
Yep. I want to see Greed here or Mez pick up an early Tab Eyes actually, or play Steel Caps, because majority of the damage from Jace is going to be like physical autos just poking him out, and that should allow him to sustain pretty well in this lane. He is falling behind like 30 CS, and that's not a good sign.
Especially in your Silas, falling behind is not something. Phase Breaker tries to pull him in by Heart Realm walk. Phase walks away, was it?
They're going to drop the Herald here and chase
And
onto
Smurf.
Smurf. Okay, so Smurf right now, he knows that this is going to be a free tier 1, and with Kra roaming up, they secure that, and it stops NP from fighting.
They go for the fight. The Moonfall will be able to find one. Arcalic Haymaker will be able to survive long enough, but Quick actually finds one with the Super Mega Death Rocket. And that's a 2-for-1 for the side of SIM.
Was it a 2-for-1?
Eh,
I think it's a 1-for-1.
1 for 2, because 2 members of
Oh, yeah,
SIM
yeah.
died, and then
Yep.
only Cappuccino died for NP.
But they get the mid tier 1, which is like reasonable after all.
Mhm.
They open up a lot of the jungle as Greed here is going in for
Oh,
the
they
Kingslayer.
get the
Manages
stun.
to land the stun actually.
He goes in for the fight. I think that's the out that he don't want to steal, but you have the Jace abilities, and you
yeah.
pick up the dot here on the top lane. That's a solo queue I want to watch.
The reason why he was able to find that is because D-Dog messed up and took 2 turret shots, if I'm not wrong. At least 1, if not 2 turret shots under tier 1. And otherwise, Mez doesn't get that kill. Right? Even with the ultimate that he steals, he doesn't get that kill. So, a bit of a misplay from D-Dog.
Yep, that was a bit of saddening for D-Dog on the top side. But I think that, allows Silas to actually catch up to what the Jace has already been doing.
This should be a kill on the... oh man, they missed the Sonic Wave. They
Sonic
could still
Wave.
dive him.
Arcalic is here and he has his ult up. Instead, they are opting to get the plates as fast as possible. This is what their investments allow them to. Right now, they have a 1k gold lead. Slows Arcalic, but that's not enough you can do. Not enough damage for the members of MP, as 4 of them are situated at the bottom side.
Yeah, this is a lot of pressure on the Kassadin again. They don't want him to hit that level 16, so just investing a lot to make sure that he can't snowball.
Oh.
D-Dog, as long as he's sitting here not taking turret shots, he should be fine. You see, he's learning, right? He's like, okay, as long as I'm outside this turret range and I hit Greed for free and I don't get caught by the turret shots, I should be okay to shove him out.
It should be okay, but I guess the sustain from Greed should be there. I mean, he has 2 refillable pots, and
He's out of pots now, yeah.
he doesn't have his E, does he? He gets knocked away. He's using his E. Won't be able to land the stun. That's the Kingslayer use. He steals back the out. Good damage coming through, but D-Dog on the outplay right there.
He missed literally everything except from the Kingslayer. I'm sorry I have to say that, but he missed literally everything.
Oh, the Super
this
Mega
time-
Death Rocket skills him! Oh, wow!
Okay, it's okay, Mez. You don't need to pop off when your ADC is capped. It's
Oh my
completely
god, the
fine.
solar flare lands, the chain CC finds him, but the true shot barrage comes out wide. Here comes the Sonic Wave, they're going in for the fight. Smurf right now a bit too far in. Moonfall will be able to land, but it's not enough damage. Smurf going in again, finds the the gap closer onto the Fudge Nugget, but it's not enough. He's going in for another fight. He's low, he gets chunked away as Squirrels pick up one. He's finding another. But
one more auto, one more in range. Okay,
that's
he cleans it up.
a 3-for-1, I believe.
Yeah, it's a 3 for
Oh.
1, and they actually get hard too.
That's
So
a
a 4 for 1, another solo kill for Arcalic SIM. At 14 minutes, they suddenly ballooned this goal lead from 1k to 4k, right?
This is
And
the investments you've been talking about.
it's the SIM way, you know. Sometimes they're just so good at finding these mid game leads that, and a lot of these come from solo kills, right? They find these mid game leads that should not be achievable.
Yep. These they find those picks that just doesn't make sense. You know, we've seen the Ash shoot her arrow multiple times onto the top side. It doesn't land, and then the member of SIM comes up, says, "Right, we're gonna shoot a rocket to the top lane, and we're gonna find the kill."
Good snipe on the way out. Now D-Dog looking for greed again. We kind of saw the result of what happens when you fight without the turret. So I think like if you're greed, Mez, you know, you want to play a bit more safe. You try your best to keep that tier 1 up as long as possible. Allow your ADC and support to rotate
Oh,
in.
there is a fight in the top river. They're going in for the fight. Smurf finds one. We'll be able to find one. He's low on HP. He does pick up Cappuccino. They're looking for more. The Sonic Wave will be able to land. He's not gonna use the gap closer as of yet. He does. He's used it. So Super Mega Death Rocket will be able to miss. But Smurf goes in for the fight. The insect out of the tower. What are you doing? Quick picks it up, and the challenger emote comes out.
That was a good kick coming in from Smurf. Really, really smooth play from the jungler of SIM, knowing that he can connect these sonic waves and find the kicks.
And look, he's back to full health again.
It's also because he has Gore Drinker, so he knows his effective health is very high. The Jinx now 5-0 and 2. She's going to get to the point where like sieging is now no longer an issue because she will be able to pick up one more crit item to her name and have that so teamfight strength and sieging power. Rift Herald up now. Members of SIM rotating over. At 15, approaching 16 minutes, the goal lead has again grown to about 5k.
It's just slowly
yeah.
growing.
It
This is sort of the savings for us. It's just gonna grow and grow and grow. I mean, if you don't spend it, it will just grow.
Right now, SIM looking to spend their money actually.
Wow,
backing
that's
off. Zeal completed here for Quake. I think he should be moving to a static shift or potentially a phantom. No, yeah, he's moving towards a static, rapid fire cannon or static shift, I think.
Arcalic, if he finds a good recall, he doesn't find hard. He does find it very calling though.
Arcalic 144 CS to the 113 of his opponent, 4-2-1. He's had very good early game control against the Kassadin, solo killing him twice, and now playing against the Kassadin in the side lane. One thing you need to note is that in this matchup, it's better for Hart to just take the L and like not let Arcalic kill him anymore and just collect EXP, right? Even if it means your team losing objectives on the side of the map. Because like we said, the Kassadin wants level 16. He's like 5 levels away. All he needs to do really is just collect EXP. He doesn't want to die. Even if his team loses 1 or 2 turrets because of him, it's still fine.
He just needs 5 more levels, that kind of thing, you know?
Yep.
Oh, Solar Flare, everything is gonna miss, but he goes in. The Moonfall will be able to land, but it's not enough damage as Gentleman goes into the back line. D-Dog will be able to survive. True Shot Barrage goes wide right there. The Dog will fall.
They killed the
but
Jinx though.
They are looking for a fight. The stun will be landing onto Fudge Nugget, but the Phase Breaker will not be able to land. Arcalic tried his best. You know, that's I believe a 1 for 1 for the both sides.
Actually a 1 for 2, I believe.
Oh yeah,
Meanwhile,
D-Dog died.
Yeah. Meanwhile, NP looking to hold on to the defense. The upside is Hart against still collecting EXP in the solo lane. His team is taking the L for him, so he can collect all of this by himself. And like we said, the magic number is 16 for the Kassadin. Hopefully he can get there soon before the lead is too far out. Level 16 on Kassadin is a win condition, but it really doesn't matter if you're down like 15k gold, 10k gold, because then the Jinx will just like one-shot you before you walk in. So they still need to keep relevant in gold, right? Right now, 4k isn't the worst thing in the world for NP.
Now we've seen them do worse, you know, just now from like 10k gold loss. That's just not
No,
something
it was
you want.
like at the widest gap, it was like 6k only.
Ah, but that's probably the second game of the day.
Smurf picking up this Cloud Dragon.
That is nearly Soul Point.
It is Soul Point.
It is.
Yeah.
Right, one more dragon for the soul to come up. Arcalic again pushing off Heart of this wave.
You can see what Arcalic is doing. He's basically just trying to match Heart, because his job is to suppress the Kassadin and pick up whatever turrets he can wherever he's laning, right? Even if you try to gank Arcalic, it doesn't matter, because he's able to like hold his own very well. So I don't know if Cappuccino really wants to force this.
However, Dodok looking for a fight on the bottom lane. The amount of damage he can do to Greed is way too much. He just dives him on the tower. And now in the top side, Moonfall will be used. Arcalic uses the RKO. Haymaker will be used. True damage misses. But that rocket as well as Arcalic picks up a solo double kill on the top side.
Like I said, he can hold his own, right? And the funny thing I want to mention, as our observer was able to catch on the way out for Greed, is he stole D-Doc's ultimate. Jace's kit is worse than his when he's running away, right? Because he has no lifesteal from the Kingslayer. He has no sort of suppression or any crowd control. Like, generally the worst kit to have when you're going up against Jace is Jace's kit, because yours is infinitely better. So he's getting slammed in this matchup, and I was kind of like right on the money there. I'm sure that Mez can play Sylas because he used to be a mid laner, but whether he can play well and beat D-Doc is a whole different question. As the Rift Herald in mid gets additional value. There's another charge onto the inhibitor turret, and Kellic should be able to pick up top tier 2 as well.
That picks it up, gets a 600 gold into his bag, and he's getting more fat than he needs to be.
There will be a certain point where the game is going to come down to him. Like, he needs to be the one starting things off, because right now, you can see that the Kassadin feels very comfortable.
They're going in for the Leona, but it's not enough. TP will be used on both sides. Greed goes in, takes the damage from, I believe, D-Doc.
Yep. It was only one TP coming in from the Sylas. Both of MP's core members still have their TP.
Oh,
That's important because D-Doc is winning the side lane against Greed, so having TP up means that he can solo kill the Sylas and TP into a fight, and it still means that MP is not out of this game. I'm very hesitant to call this for SIM because, like I said, level 16 Kassadin, he's like level 12 now, and D-Doc is actually holding his own against Sylas. So as the game goes on, if he can keep solo killing Mez, he can TP into his team's 5v5 and actually contribute.
I think Arcalic wants the Heart of Heart right here. He's going in for the fight. He tries his best to get out, but Greed is here.